there was a time when I said I was going to talk about one of my favorite books, and here is the book I'm going to talk about. It is George Washington's biography by Lenny Horowitz, the author. So before I start talking about George Washington's life experiences and all those kind of things, let me just define George Washington for you. He was many things. He was a surveyor, a major in the army, a general in the army, the first president of the United States, and he was someone who won America her independence. But there are many ranks in the military, so I don't really want to go into that so that I won't confuse you. So let me get to his history. George Washington was actually born in 1731. 1731. But when the British came and took over America, in the period that George Washington was born, they brought their own calendar and changed the calendar that the Virginians were using. That's what they called them in those days. So all the dates got bounced by 11 days. So instead of George Washington to be born 1731, he was born 22nd, 1732. I'm just saying that so that you can know the actual day he was born. So where I'm going to, George Washington's early life was easy because during that period, Virginia was mostly like better than any other country in the world in that period. So when George Washington was growing up, the most popular occupation that time was farming. And I know that you might be thinking that during that period, the most populated occupation is farming. But today in America, there are many fields of occupations, like many, you can't even count them. So the difference is that throughout time, people progress, start thinking of different occupations to go to. Stuff. So George Washington, during his life as he was growing up, he decided to be a surveyor. Now let me explain the meaning of surveyor. Surveyor is someone, okay, let me get an instance. Let's say Bill Gates wants to buy some land. He sends some people to go and check the land, whether there's anything wrong with it or whether it's okay or the soil is good for a foundation to build with. If they come back to him and say that the soil is good or the land is firm for him to build whatever he wants to build, then Bill Gates will now send the workers to start building it. Because if there were no surveyors, there's a very high risk of danger. Because if Bill Gates wants to build an amusement park and the ground is not firm and there's something wrong with the land and people are playing and people are on the amusement park rides and something happens, he can get sued for that. So there has to be surveyors no matter what. Let me move on to the next part of his life. After a period of time, George Washington left being a surveyor and went to the army, and he became an officer. During a period of time, the French were building forts at a particular, like during that period, there was a side where Virginia ruled and there was a side where the French ruled, and in between that there was a piece of land with a river in it. The French wanted to build forts on that river, close to that river area, and the Virginians also want to build on that place. So they started fighting over who would get the land. But the problem was also that there were also Red Indians already living there. So whoever wanted to take the land had to get the Red Indians' pleasure or take it by force. Then the Americans tried a sneak attack on their forts. And when they went there, they found that they were outnumbered, but they could not escape. They had to build a tiny fort. But one of their army generals told George Washington that the fort they built was designed for no protection. Like, it doesn't limit the danger you could receive. That the fort was bad, that they couldn't even last for a amount of time. But then the French offered them the opportunity to surrender, and George Washington surrendered. When he got home, the King of England, because in that period England was over Virginia or America, the King of England and other officials said that George Washington did not do a good job, that's why he surrendered. But most of the people of Virginia said that if he didn't surrender, he would have been killed, and at least he got the chance to live. There are actually many illustrations in this book. That's why I like it. Like the first, like an illustration of the first time George Washington was a surveyor. It's somewhere in here. Yeah, this is it. I'm not sure I might be able to see it clearly, but this is the picture and illustration of it. There are many other illustrations, but I don't want to skip to them. I want to go through them chronologically, so let me move along. After George Washington did that month, the next thing that happened was that George Washington was removed from the army, and then he had to focus on farming on his birth home, Mount Vernon. Then a British official wanted to take land from the French, so he got a piece of army, and George Washington asked him whether he could go on with him, and he agreed. But the thing is that there was a perfectly good road leading straight to the place where they wanted to build the forts. But the major that came with the George Washington knew what he was doing. So instead of going to the straight road, because he knew that there would be French people on their guard at the straight road, he went behind the back and was making a new road through that place. But George Washington was like, why are you doing this? There's a perfectly good road right there that we could use without any trouble. But he said that if we use that road, there's a very low chance of survival because French redcoats will be everywhere waiting for us to just step into their trap. So it's better we go from behind and be able to take over the fort. So they sneak attacks and they won that piece of land. And when George Washington felt that kind of victory, he was really happy. That's when he started moving on to major battles, like the one which helped him to win over England. So the very funny thing in this story is that they were fighting the French, then with England on the side. Then England were now raising taxes too high or treating them badly. They now partnered with the French to defeat the Englands. When George Washington was not able to take America back home with the British, the French was not like, you made us fight war to help you win over your land back, but now we use so much money and resources that we don't have much left. So what do we have to do? They taxed the Americans. They started taxing and raising the tax until the Americans had to overthrow the French again. They decided to start a democracy instead of monarchy. But during democracy, nobody contested because you know that George Washington was the perfect man for the job. But the thing is that after his 4 years time had expired, they still wanted him to go on as the president. But George Washington just realized that we just escaped from the British. They practice a monarchy. Why would we go back to the British culture? Doesn't make any sense, because it's like we escaped them from nothing. We escaped them to have freedom and make our own rules. So why would we now start practicing monarchy? So they decided to practice democracy. But one thing I don't generally like about the British is that I think they like power too much, because they colonized a lot of people. Nigeria, I didn't even know they colonized America before until I read this book. They tried to colonize America, but America overthrew them. There are many other countries that they colonized, especially in Africa. There's even a country in North America that is, I think, is somewhere between Canada and the United States. I can't really remember. And England is also in charge of that country. So I think if England, because I don't really know the continent England is in, because like the countries are scattered around the world. Like England, okay, let's say England is in Europe now. You can find a country owned by England that's in Asia. The population is scattered. So after George Washington passed down, he wanted to make a memory to all the future presidents that are going to lead, because he did not want them to be like, okay, George Washington was staying until he died and passed down to his son. Let me stay and pass on to my son when I die. that would just be the British stuff all over again. Then after seeing that the Americans are still practicing their monarchy, the British might still come back and take over again, because you know that since the rules are the same as us, doesn't that mean that we can take over? Which is my thinking in that format. So that is all I have for George Washington today. In my next video, I'm going to talk about more people. In my next video, I'm going to talk about Nelson Mandela and other great activists. So wait for my next video, and you should learn about more future leaders, past leaders. Bye. Bye.